flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, if we could have the minutes from the previous monthly meetings.
The Silver Lake Township Supervisors held their regular monthly meeting on Monday, June 4, 2012 at the Silver Lake Township Building. Francis Fruhan called the meeting to order at 7 p.m. and everyone saluted the flag. The minutes from the May meeting were read and approved on a motion made by Evan Everett and seconded by Francis Fruhan. The treasurer's report was read and held for audit on a motion made by Evan Everett and seconded by Francis Fruhan. General correspondence. The township has received notice from ARM Group on behalf of WPX Energy regarding a proposed well pad and access driveway for the Brown property on Quinn Road with an access drive from O'Reilly Road. Public comment. Mrs. Chambers expressed concern regarding an area of stagnant water on Lakefront Road. Evan Everett said the road is relatively flat and difficult for water to drain. They will take a look at the area to see if anything can be done. Denise Rossi has a schedule of events that will be taking place for the community park. Vera Scroggins asked about the traffic study. Evan Everett has called PennDOT but has not heard back from them yet. Tom Drista asked about the potholes on SR 167. It was suggested he call PennDOT. John Demery asked for an update regarding the budget. Francis Fruhan said that we are just over 1/3 of the way through the year and the budget reflects that. Some items are over and some under. It was explained that summer is when the majority of purchases are made. Vera Scroggins asked about the safety of the roads. Evan Everett said that WPX Energy has been very cooperative when he has made a request for the roads. Mr. Everett has recently asked for material for dust control. Evan Everett said there are 2 trucks, a 1976 International dump truck and a 1970 Kaiser Jeep 5-ton dump truck that he would like to put out to bid on Auctions International. Francis Fruhan made a motion to approve the listing of the trucks. Evan Everett seconded, approved. Francis Fruhan has been discussing new ballistic vest costs with the chief, as well as adding another shift for the summer season. The cost of the ballistic vests may exceed the budgeted amount. Mr. Fruhan would like to meet with the chief to review the cost of the budget, as well as the additional shift costs with respect to the budget. Evan Everett made a motion to approve Francis Fruhan to authorize vest purchases and to give approval to the chief to schedule equivalent of an additional shift. Seconded, approved. Chief Timberg gave the police report with 41 incidents in Silver Lake Township for the month of May. Evan Everett gave the road report. Approximately 1/3 of the roads have been graded. Road projects will be started. The salt brine application has been submitted, and as soon as the permit is issued, they will start putting the dust control down. The gas company has been using liquid calcium for dust control. This is very expensive. An estimate has been received from Gradco Supply to set up the plow truck purchase from Federal Surplus, a 1991 Freight Line all-wheel drive, $29,709.37. The township will be reusing a blade it already has. Francis Fruhan made a motion to authorize Evan Everett to go ahead with the purchase of the equipment to get the 1991 Freightliner set up. Sandy Brink seconded, approved. Assessment permits none, driveway permits none. Access drive permits 4 issued to WPX Energy. Trip Lake Road for the Shaver property. Arrowhead Lake Road for the Kennedy property. Lower Riney Creek Road for the Johnson property, and Donovan Road for the Wheeler property. Fireworks permit, Showbutt on Laurel Lake. Francis Fruhan made a motion to pay the bills as submitted. Evan Everett seconded. Approved. As no further business was presented, Francis Fruhan adjourned the meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as read.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.
General fund, payroll taxes, EFTPS is $5,533.87, $1,830.13. Pennsylvania Department of Revenue, also payroll taxes, $574.84. Pennsylvania Department of Revenue, $229.35. Sandy Brink, $268 even. Evan Everett, 974.31. Seth Everett, 940.83. John Nagy, 2006, 23.77. Ed Noack, 387.47. Chris Short, 915.35. Claverack, 223.99. Frontier, 279.94. Tim Berg, 823.56. Michael Hornick, 591.03. Levi Tiffany, 228.23. John Walker, 183 even. Guy Singer, 1,048.68. Sandy Brink, 268 even. Sandy Brink, 364.64. Tim Berg, 823.56. Evan Everett, 974.31. Michael Hornick, 591.03. Ed Noack, 375.88. Chris Short, 915.35. Levi Tiffany, 183 even. John Walker, 183 even. Guardians, 659.94. Seth Everett, 940.83. Andre and Ian Son, sorry, that's a boy. Chase Card Services, $12.99. Cintas, $362.59. Damascus Quarries, $3,832.80. Lopke, $196.07. Ken Cublow, $800 even. Silver Lake Township Municipal Authority, $625 even. Susquehanna Disposal, $90 even. Andres, $150 even. Started the month with a balance of $261,560.71. Receipts, $4,113.43. Disbursements at $30,585.73, leaving a balance of $235,088.41. State funds, A+ Tire Repair Specialist, $262.50. Room Bituminous, $210 even. Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, $6,900 even. Damascus Quarries, $229.19. J&G Excavating, $4,000 even. Liberty Township, $525 even. Montrose Auto Parts, $151.44. Tri-City Springs, $623.85. Vestal Asphalt, $2,884 even. Started with a balance of $184,670.95. Receipts at $2.50. Disbursements, $15,785.98, leaving a balance of $168,887.47. Police Department, John Nagy, $2,441.67. Frontier, $158.97. Verizon, $99.42. Chase Card Services, $84.72. Silver Lake General Fund, $5,480.60. AT&T, $36.58. Dan's, $867.24, and McGuire Electronics, $135 even. Started with a balance of $81,352.90. Receipts at $3,267.39. Disbursements, $9,304.20, leaving a balance of $75,316.09. Building fund. Building fund, People's National Bank, $1,281.43, and John Nagy, $436.01. Started with a balance of $23,660.05. Receipts at $279.27. Disbursements at $1,717.44, leaving a balance of $22,221.88. Fire Fund, John Nagy, $1,090.03. Silver Lake Fire Company, $27,157.42. Started with a balance of $916.56. Receipts at $27,948.76. Disbursements at $28,247.45, leaving a balance of $617.87.
Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as read.
I'll second that. All in favor? General correspondence, did you receive anything new on Act 14? Okay, no Act 14 notices regarding proposed well pads were received last month. Anything else of note? comment?
What was the 6,000 payment to PennDOT for?
Equipment that was purchased through the federal surplus.
Oh, okay.
What did you buy? What equipment?
It was not through PennDOT, it was through federal surplus. It was the military truck that we're making into a plow truck.
I got it. I haven't been in the meetings in about 8 to 10 months, and I just want to bring up a couple things. First, notice the speed minder on 4002 today, so I want to thank whoever put that, or got it there. You guys did it, or the police?
They just did it on, it was just a routine thing.
Okay. Remember, we can get it 2 weeks a year, that's 14 days, and it should be moved around the township. We have Laurel Lake.
There's one on 167 also.
Good, okay, so I don't know if that means, since we have 2 in 1 week, if that's shot for the year, but we can get a speed minder for 2 weeks.
Right.
Okay, that's the rule. So, you know, think about strategically moving around the township from Laurel to the state line, to Brackney, you know, different places. I'm
Right.
asking you. Okay?
Yeah, I requested them, and I requested it for 167 over by Lakefront, and they will do it again in the fall.
Okay, that's good. I do have some traffic concerns I want to talk about, you know, regarding the speed limit. You know, definitely people are speeding throughout our township. This past week, there was a hit and run in front of my house. Also, on Wednesday afternoon, there was excessive speed in a car, lost control around the bend, and went into the ditch and demolished my mailbox. And we've had 2 serious car accidents on Route 2012 in the past year. And you guys know where those accidents have been. And I'm just asking you to continuously work with the police, you know, on that, so we can make this town more safe. And I want to thank you for hiring a part-time police officer. I saw you guys did that last month. I think we really do need it. Currently, we have more hours being staffed by the state police and than our local township police, and I don't think that's really a good idea. Because the more they come up here, the more they're going to want to get involved. You know, years ago, Marshall Brown's party got busted up by the state police. There was DWI stops up here, and if I got pulled over, I'd rather be pulled over by a local guy than some hotshot trying to make a name for himself coming up from Gibson. And lastly, what happened recently down in Bradford County Township, Towanda, there was a state police sting down there on a Saturday afternoon, where they came in, worked with the local police, and there was DWI stops during the day. People got arrested for drug possession, expired license and registrations. So I'm just bringing this to attention because, you know, as you are thinking about, do we need police, do we not, what shifts are being covered, what not being covered, I just feel the more that the state police come up here, the more they're gonna want to get involved. And I think it's better to handle situations by supervisors and our local police to, you know, to work on particularly police presence and enforcing the traffic laws.
I can't believe that someone is saying if we have more involvement by the state police, that's negative. I think it should be in the record book throughout the state that, hey, we got someone that thinks we got too many state police around. I think that's ridiculous.
Very good.
I'd like to say that I went on the DEP site and I looked up WPX Energy and all their violations, and I have a 20-page readout. This is public information, it's been printed out. I'd like to give you a copy showing all the violations of WPX, and they have failure, casing failures, all kinds of spills, and I'm very concerned about having them in our township. And I also want to say that there's failure of casings on here for the Depew well on Silver Creek Road and for the Holenbeck well on Franklin Forks Road. That's in Franklin Township. And then we have the contamination that's now being investigated by DEP, still being investigated. I called DEP this morning, and I sent in a right to know about a week ago. I wanted to know, since these casings are defective, have they been fixed? The casing defect happened in February of 2011. So I got a letter back this week from the DEP, and they said we cannot release this information because, why? When I found out this morning when I talked to the DEP, they're still under investigation. The Depew well and the Holenbeck well have been under investigation for over a year. Then the contamination happened in Franklin Fork, so they're still under investigation. While they're under investigation, no information can be released about them. So no right to know can be answered. So since this is the case and this company wants to come into our township, I am asking you all, why are we allowing roadway or driveway access for these companies, for this company that is here? Would we allow this for any company that has a 20-page violation list? If they wanted to come into this township, would you allow them in and give them roadway access or driveway access? So I'm very concerned about that. I'm concerned that we have a well site right above Laurel Lake.
Hang on.
We have a McGeorge site right above Laurel Lake, and I'm concerned about the lake and all our water wells. So I'm just giving this as a warning to all the residents. Anybody wants to see this, you can go, it's public information. Do you want this company in our township so that we are at risk? Franklin Township is at risk right now. It's still under investigation over a year. Meanwhile, WPX goes around saying that they have solved the problem, they know what it is, but the DEP has not given their assent to it, or they have not given the reasons for it. And they say they're still under investigation as of this morning. And it has not been concluded. WPX goes around and talks to all kinds of townships and tells everybody everything is fine. They're not the cause of the problem, but the DEP has not decided that. And they're not telling us that the defective casings, those two sites have been fixed. So that hasn't been done, and we have nothing to attest to that. So I'm very concerned about this, and I'm wanting to present that and have that on record, that these people are being allowed in our county and in our township. So I want to let you know about that, and I want to give this to the board at some point so that you have it. Thank you.
Aside from the alarmist rhetoric that we just heard, has WPX re-papered or refiled for the Nagy well site, which I hope is going to take place? They haven't yet.
No.
Craig Stevens, 1527 Silver Creek Road. Okay, I mean, there's no alarmist there. Look it up yourself. That's 30 pages or 20 pages of violations, none of which the DEP can prove to me. They've even gone back to see if they fixed. I'm not just picking on WPX. It looks like the same things happen with every other drilling company. I get a call from my forester 5 days ago that that there was a surveyor on my property, my private property. Nobody called me to say there was a surveyor, so I went up. It was Joe Hunt and Associates. They were surveying the road next door to mine, the Zed Montross's property, and when you go up above him, it's Bertha Stone, or Roger was up there, Roger Stone. I went in and confronted Joe Hunt on my property and said, what's going on? Oh, we're surveying the property line. It looks like it's about 15 feet off. I lose 15 feet. And so I said, that's interesting. I mean, the line's been there for as long as I've been alive, that's 52 years, and much longer than that. That has been the same line, and everybody accepted it, including the courthouse. So I asked him, are you a court, or are you a county-approved surveyor, which means when you make these determinations, when they're proven valid, they're going to go on the maps? No, they're not. He was doing it just to access because they want to use the access road there. By the way, I'm the one that got Williams the access road for free when, or actually it was Laser to work on the pipeline up on my property and on Bertha Stone's property. He staked it out, did everything. Then he told me it wasn't my business because he was really here. They called Montross and they called Stones because they were there to do a survey on their property. I said, you're standing 15 feet into my property line as far as the county considers it. And I said, so it is all my business, and why didn't you call me? Why didn't I get a call, and neither did Johnson's below me get a call? But they were not only going to be on our property, and why they were gonna be there to give us an announcement. But the fact that I get up there now, and you can see the flags, they're right on 4008. They start right down below Johnson's property, and you can see they've moved the whole line over. So I'm already challenging it. I'm not gonna allow them to move my property line unless the county comes and does it, and I'm gonna have Williams pay for it, because as far as I'm concerned, that property line's been that way since my grandmother was a child in 1912, so I don't really think I need to worry about that. I'm getting problem, that's not the first time. I caught Williams on my property 2 months ago, wandering around my open field. I have a 15-acre open field on my 115-acre property. I was up there with my forester and looked out the field, there's some guy wandering in a high-vis vest with his dog and a walking stick. So I drove my four-wheel drive up there. Can I help you? Yeah, I'm doing a survey for the pipeline for Williams. Fantastic. But you're about 200 yards south of where the pipeline is. Oh, I'm just trying to get my bearings. I said, hang on a second. There's a 60-foot wide swath through 33 miles of Pennsylvania and New York. You can't miss it from space. So if you're a surveyor, I'm hoping you can do a little bit better. I can help you find it. Go to the road there and walk north for about 200 yards. That's the second time in 2 months I've caught somebody on my property, never called, never said they were going to be there. This is a surveying person, and now I've got a surveyor, Joe Hunt, being hired by them to do something. So I called Williams and asked them, when the first guy was there, their supervisor showed up in 2 hours, which was great. It was very rapid response. Then he told me the guy was looking for cell phone reception, which he did not have his cell phone out. I don't know about you guys, but hey, if they're here to do work, that's fine. Call the landowner who you're walking on, which is called trespassing without the permission of the owner. They only have a 40-foot right-of-way that they bought from all of us to put the pipeline in. That's it. The 20-foot is already reverted back to us, because they had a 60-foot, but 20-foot was working space. After the completion of the pipeline, especially now they've sold it, that 20 feet is now gone. They have a 40-foot wide right-of-way through all of our properties here. What I'm getting tired of is multiple times catching people on the property, and they don't think I have any right to even question it. It's none of my business, I'm being told. So that's one issue. The second is, I talked to Colleen Connolly from the DEP. I asked her, has a determination been made about what happened in Franklin Forks? Seeing that they want to come here. There's 10 well pads set. I'm not against it. If somebody has a well pad on their property, I'm very excited for them. The problem I'm having is that we've got a company that has put in 7 wells within 2 miles over in Franklin Township, and there's concerns going on about it. Not from me, but from the DEP. So there's my concern. I asked Colleen Connolly, she says it's none of my business. That's only the business of the 4 people who had the potential damage over there. I never said they damaged anybody. I said there was a question of it. They told me the same thing they told Vera. It's been under investigation. The Depew well's been under investigation since February 15, 2011. The Hollenbeck well's been under investigation since July 20th of 2011. That's 12 months for the Hollenbeck site and 15 months for the Depew site. I'm getting concerned. And now we've asked for documents to show that the original problems were either resolved or did anything with. We're getting told there is no paperwork, there's nothing that says they were corrected, and there's nothing to say they're not going to. To add insult to injury, I was here 2 months ago when WPX was here presenting. You heard it for yourself, and we have it on camera. They said they had nothing to do with any damage down there. They've blueprinted the gas, they've done all these things. So the next day I called DEP. They said, why are they saying that? We have not determined any of that. Matter of fact, they got called on the carpet. DEP called WPX, brought their reps in and said, you stop going around town and the community saying you didn't do anything. We haven't determined that as the regulatory authority. If you want to say you don't think you did anything, but right now it's under investigation with DEP, that would be technically fine. But they're not doing that. You did not hear them say that when they were here. I don't like that. If they're having problems and the regulatory authority has determined there might be problems, they haven't pinned it on any company, including WPX, but they have an open investigation. That's 2 miles from my house, a mile from Phil Depew's. So my concern is, hey, if people are coming here to drill so we can all make money, perfect. Let's make sure they're doing it right and they're not causing problems. I don't want to find out a year and a half from now that they really did cause problems in Franklin Forks, and now we're suffering consequences here. Let's get it straight before they move over here, that's all I'm asking. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there something?
Yeah, no, I think he's got a point as far as trespassing. Nobody belongs on his property, but he's addressing you, and you're not doing nothing about it. It's not your jurisdiction. I think he needs to call the police or the companies that are trespassing, because nobody does belong there.
Right.
And I do understand why they're not giving a response to them as far as while they're doing the investigation, because if they have material that they're not interpreting right, the story's gonna come out different than the actual facts. So I could understand, I mean, if there was a lawsuit involved, you don't discuss the lawsuit until it's settled. So when they find whatever the problem is, then they should release the information. I mean, that's just, my opinion.
Okay. Alrighty.
These are all interesting things to hear, but I'm wondering what the intent is as far as the township. I think it should be dealt with by some other agency besides Silver Lake Township.
Well, we're listening to what people are saying. I mean, even if there's nothing we can act on. Okay.
So, so if there's a problem in Silver Lake Township with, a well, whatever, the township has nothing to do with it, right?
Yeah, we don't have.
We go to
any
DEP.
DEP.
Okay.
Right.
That's okay.
Well, can't the township say no to the roadway or driveway access? Can you ever say no, or you just have to
That's strictly
say?
got based on the merits of the driveway application, because they may not be complying with, or have other issues, we can't refuse a driveway permit for that. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
You saw Arizona with the federal government, right?
And I'd like to say too that WPX was in Forest Lake. I received a call from a landowner there about a week ago to speak about my concerns and what I'm doing here, with watching the industry for the past 4 years as a citizens watch group. And I went there, WPX was invited, and they were to speak on leasing the lake, leasing under the lake.
Silver Lake Township, what you're talking about?
No, but just to let you know that they're trying to lease under a lake, so I don't know if they've approached any of our lakes. Have they approached any of our lakes to lease under them?
They haven't approached us, the supervisors, and it's nothing to do with us as far as I know.
So when I was there to speak, they left, they refused to speak. So they didn't go with their presentation, they didn't do their presentation.
Okay, all right, we'll move on to new business. There's bids in there?
Yeah. We put 2 vehicles out for bid last month. One was a 1976 International Paystar 5000 dump truck. The bid result ended at $35.55. And the Kaiser Jeep was a 1970 5-ton, and that ended up at $44,000 even.
44,000?
I'd like 4,400. 35.55 and 4,400.
We're going up at just the highest bid, did they show us on the process?
There's a process of how many bids were made over the whole life of it, and then it's just the highest bid.
They give us a name of the high bidder? So we just,
They
Go with it
take
or not
care
go
of
with
everything, they send us the check if we accept them.
okay.
And I would make a motion to accept both of bids.
Okay, that's the kind of money you're looking for?
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we accept both of these bids for this 1976 International Paystar and the 1970 Kaiser Jeep.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay.
What's the commission they charge?
The, whoever buys the vehicle, I think it's 10% and 14% if you pay with a credit card. But whatever the bid comes in at, like the bid came in at 4,400, we get 4,400 and then the guy will pay the additional 10%, or I think it's 14% if he uses a credit card.
Any other new business? All right, police report.
Evening, folks. We had a total of 23 incidents for the month, not including our traffic stops. We had 2 medical calls, 3 burglar alarms, 1 ATV complaint, 1 criminal trespass, 1 disabled vehicle, 3 reports of shots fired, 1 911 hang-up, 1 lost and found property, 1 miscellaneous investigation, 2 motor vehicle accidents. We had traffic pursuit, we had a suspicious vehicle, 3 terroristic threats, 1 reported trees down, 1 welfare check, and 11 traffic stops.
All right, thanks. Kevin? Road report.
We've got our permit to spread our dust control. We've been using that. We've received 2 loads so far. Nothing's working real great right now with as dry as it is. We need rain really bad. We've actually, today will probably be the last day we'll be grading roads till we get some rain, and we'll be starting the Brown Road project until we get some moisture back in the roads to start working the road. Any questions?
What's the Brown Road project?
It was a dirt gravel road grant that we got last year, and we're just getting to it now. We're gonna be putting some quarry rubble in and topping with DSA.
Smaller stone?
Yeah, it's the same as modified, it's just what the county, the program wants you to use.
Hi, I'm Ann Major, I live on Sweeney Road. Is there any plan to do anything about the huge ditch that runs along the top of Sweeney Road?
Coming down the opposite side from your place, we
Right.
can take a look at that.
Yeah, it's really treacherous,
Okay.
it's washing out, and I know you guys did a lot, but it's probably 3 feet wide and about 3 feet deep.
Okay, we'll take a look at it.
All right.
I mean, we have to, there has to be a pretty sizable ditch there to handle the water that the state puts down on the road. You know, we catch all the water that comes sometimes from Trip Lake Road all the way down, but we'll look at it and see what we can do.
I mean, someone could turn down there on a dark night and end up sideways in that ditch.
Right.
Sad view.
Okay, we'll take a look at it.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Okay, assessment permits. This one was from May, I missed it last month, 1 in May, to Lesh on Kennedy Road for a barn. And we had 1 in June to Anderson on Twin Lakes Road, called a garage, more of a shed, but a garage, I guess. Okay. Driveway permits?
Nope.
Alright, those driveway permits were issued or applied for, would that be correct?
That's correct.
For the last month. Okay, fireworks permit, one to James Guerrero on Lake March for July 27th and 28th. And one for you, was that your name or one of your boys?
I
Nick?
think we did that his though, at the last meeting, didn't we? Did we do Nick's at the last meeting?
I don't think we had the application.
Didn't have it, I didn't have it.
Oh.
So it's one to Nick Demery, at Quaker Lake, what,
On the 4th or the 5th of it rains.
you want to just make it for both, for fourth, what did you have? I'll just say for,
I do have one. 4th or 5th.
okay, I'll just read it that way.
Shows who's gonna receive the royalties.
Okay, anything before we, okay, I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Adjourn.
I know you.
jamming.
I have to open this, I had to push it over there.
What, buddy?
Can we go see if there's on the back?
Yeah, we can go see it. Yeah, well, it said Chad was paying us. Must have got her, right?
We were gonna go over there,
Why don't you tell, you called it on the four-wheeler yesterday. They said, no, state police are on now.
I got the